Which would scare you more? A home invasion by some underprivileged person that was just like some crackhead that wanted money.
For crack.
Presumably for crack. Maybe for a cup of coffee, but definitely for crack. That, a home invasion by a crackhead, or the boogeyman, and a home invasion by the boogeyman.
Who's at 5?
Another boogeyman attack in the Southland area.
I guess I would be more inclined to deal with a crackhead because at least
because you're like, he's human, he's mortal. If I kick him in the nards,
if he turns around, I can hit him with
or
something.
I could be like, look, if you leave us alone, I'll give you crack forever.
Yeah, it's like I will give you so much crack. But the boogeyman, I'm like, I could grab a knife.
You don't know anything about the boogeyman.
I grab a knife, I stick him in the neck.
And he just keeps coming.
Yeah, he's just like
a Michael Myers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Michael Myers, though, is maybe the cross between the home invading crackhead and the boogeyman. Like, even the kids at one point, remember at the end of the movie, they're like, "Was that the boogeyman?" And Jamie Lee Curtis is like, "Fuck yeah."
What do you fucking think?
Yeah, come on,
asshole.
dummy. She didn't say that, but whatever. But, you know, like, he was a dude who was definitely a guy.
Yeah.
But, you know, he fucking...
But they get...
couldn't stop him.
Those boogeymen, like when you think of the modern day boogeymen of Mike Myers, Jason...
Michael Myers?
Yeah.
Not Mike Myers. He's a boogeyman in a whole different way.
Yeah. You know, Freddy Krueger, when you look at those, you know, they all have superhuman ability.
Right.
And they also have the one thing that if you met them that I'd be like, I know I can't kill this motherfucker.
Right.
And I know that if I can get away,
right,
he'll fucking come find me.
Not if you move like 3 states away.
Yeah.
Like if you just abandon your house and shit and just move to like Des Moines, Iowa, then you don't fear Michael Myers anymore because it's like, well, unless you're Laurie Strode because he was coming to kill her because that was his unkilled sister. It was the sister he had yet to kill.
Yeah.
So I guess him you'd be kind of scared of. But like a Freddy Krueger, he was more localized on Elm Street, correct?
I mean...
like Freddy Krueger wouldn't chase you to fucking... You move to fucking Nova Scotia, change your name, become a
Freddy
Newfie.
Krueger also wasn't somebody who's just like, I gotta catch a bus to Newfoundland. He like enters your dreams.
But my point was, didn't he enter? He was kind of magic. But didn't he go after them because what's his origin story?
Well, he does. He's got all the origin stories except for maybe Mike Myers. I don't know, Michael
Myers' origin story.
That's why I think the Freddy stuff was always more terrifying because it was more abstract.
Right.
And it was like in your dreams and it wasn't and it could take on different forms and like as opposed to like the giant guy chasing you around.
Right.
I'm more scared of the Freddy Krueger idea.
Of the three of them, of Michael Myers. So you're being chased by Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger. You're not sweating the first two, but Freddy Krueger, you're afraid
I'm
of.
not sweat. Regardless,
right?
But if somebody was like, "Give me 2 of the 3," I would. The one I would say no to is Freddy Krueger. I would be like, well, I'll take I'll try to take on the other 2.
But if they're all after you,
yeah,
you're fucked because
if one of them,
2 of them,
me, I'm fucked.
Yeah, that's true. But 2 of them will chase you while you're awake.
Yes.
And then let's say you somehow manage to get away, and you're like, I need a little rest, and you fall asleep. Then the third one goes to work.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no escape. That would be the ultimate movie. Ultimate like that. If I was, let me rephrase. If I was 12 years old, that would be the ultimate movie where you're being chased by Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and then if you fall asleep, Freddy Krueger.
That would be like. I know what I would do.
What would you do?
I'd fucking shoot myself.
I guess.
I would be like, I may have the worst luck on the entire planet.
Then somehow you manage to escape all 3. Like because they always defeat fucking Freddy Krueger in the movies and shit, to some degree. And then fucking Leatherface shows up. And Leatherface to me is kind of the most frightening because he's the most plausible. He's just a dude who...
With a chainsaw.
Yeah, who's just fucking crazy.
But once again, like in the first movie, he was plausible. But then at a certain point, every time, like, once they can't be killed, then it becomes less plausible.
But that's what people seem to like. The notion of, like, this unstoppable force.
I don't find that terrifying. I find the idea terrifying that it has more plausibility. Once you make it superhuman, I'm like, well, I'm not really scared.
Well, I think it's like all the difference between the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. People that love the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre don't seem to like the second one.
No.
I like the second one.
I like the second one,
It's
too.
my favorite of them all. But I respect the first one, and I do think that the first one is more frightening just based on the visceral look.
Yeah.
It looks like almost like a docudrama.
Yeah.
Shot low rent and fucking with no money and shit like that. Second one I don't find scary, but it's just fucked up.
That one's scary in the way where you're more just like, you're literally, as opposed to watching somebody get chased, you're watching them be held hostage.
Totally.
By insane people.
Or when Chop Top and fucking Leatherface show up at the radio station. Yeah. Like, she's the DJ, our fave. Chop Top is fucking frightening to me.
Yeah.
And he keeps lighting the coat hanger and just scratching
Picking
away
at
pieces of his skin and eating it and shit.
But that's like, because that becomes terrifying because I'm more terrified of being...
Vietnam vets.
Yeah, that fucking scares me. I see them on the side of the road and I just run. No, the idea of being held captive by somebody who's insane is way more terrifying than somebody who fucking literally chops my head off with a machete.
I agree.
I'm like, if I don't want to be like, have my face peeled off, I would rather just have it be over quickly.
But the notion of all of them together in a movie appeals to the teenager in me.
Yeah.
They made one where it was like Freddy versus Jason. I never saw it because now I'm fucking in my 30s and I can care less. But if they'd made that movie when I was fucking 12, I'd have been like, oh, my head's fucking better. Raiders of the Lost Ark and Star Wars combined, you know. But as an adult, it didn't do it for me. When we finished Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and it finished its theatrical run, we did that one with Dimension.
Yeah.
And Bob Weinstein was and still is the head of Dimension, and Harvey took care of the Miramax side of things.
Yep.
So we'd worked very closely with Bob for the first time, really. On Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And then when the movie was done and done its theatrical run and it did very well on DVD, he called me up one day to be like, this movie did killer numbers on DVD. That's how Bob talked. This movie did killer numbers on DVD, Kevin. Did you see these numbers? People seem to like your stuff. I was like, thanks for noticing. This is our fifth fucking movie. But he was just like, I was thinking about it last night, and I think I came up with the ultimate Jay and Silent Bob movie. And I was like, really? What is that? And I wasn't interested in doing it, but I had to hear it.
Yeah.
And then I got interested for a minute because I was like, he's got a point. He's going, you think of the great comedy teams in movie history, okay, like an Abbott and Costello. They do a series of movies, but what did they ultimately wind up doing? And I was like, dying? And he's like, no. Abbott and Costello met the monsters. And I was like, that's true, man. They fucking met the Wolfman and Dracula and Frankenstein.
Was it all in one movie, or did they do like...
Can't remember. I was never a big Abbott and Costello guy.
Yeah.
I like Laurel and Hardy more when I was a kid. And even then, I was just like, I'd prefer the Little Rascals over all of them because I give a fuck about some dopey adults. Little Rascals, when I was a kid, you could be like, these motherfuckers do a lot with very little. Yeah, these kids are always putting on shows and like, look at these sets. It's amazing. And they're always making money, too. They're always grafting and fucking making money somehow. Like selling tickets to a show, and they always have like 100 kids show up. I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, I don't even know 100 kids, man. I couldn't do what they do.
Maybe that's what inspired you for your whole career.
It could be. It could
I want
very
to put
well
on
be.
a show.
That's very much. That's how I've just referenced Zach and Mary Make a Porno. It's like the Little Rascals make a dirty movie because it's kind of like, let's put on a show thing. Bunch of disparate souls who don't have a lot going for them get together and put on a fucking show. I was always captured by the notion they did that one where it was like pay as you exit.
Yeah.
That was Spanky's big, like, come see the show, pay as you exit. If you like it, pay for it. And then the show was fucking dog shit terrible, and things kept breaking at the end. They were like, oh, fuck. They didn't say fuck, but they were all disappointed. But then they revealed, like, everybody loved it so much, they all fucking put in their penny and shit. Inspiring story.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he was like, they meet the monsters. And he's like, so as Dimension, I have monsters. I have the modern day monsters. I have Pinhead because we have the Hellraiser series, and I have Michael Myers because we do the Halloweens.
Yeah.
So Jay and Silent Bob meet Pinhead and Michael Myers. And I was just like, that's so fucking stupid it might work. And I actually thought about it. And I remember talking to Affleck about it, and I was telling him that story. And Affleck, after I told him the beat, after I told him what it was, he took a beat and he goes, you know, I was going to say that's really fucking retarded, but I bet you everyone would go see that movie. He's going, it's just so fucking weird. Like Jay and Silent Bob fighting Pinhead and shit like that. But ultimately, I'd never pursued it. My only notion for it was just like that they have the cube, you know, the fucking hell cube from Hellraiser, and they fuck the box and they turn it, and they wind up in rehab. That's their idea of hell.